So it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. John Gamester81 Lester. Jason did give me a handle, Heine. And Jason, Metal Jesus Rocks Lindsay. Do you guys ever go by the triple J's or anything?
Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it?
We had another guy, Johnny, too. Johnny.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's not the only one who stands out, right?
He's the only one that stands out.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Floor is yours.
Can you guys hear us okay? Are these mics picked up? Okay, cool, awesome. Who's heard of All Gen Gamers before? Just curious, show of hands. Very cool, awesome, I think majority of you guys.
Cool.
We are recording episode 113 live here at Portland Retro Gaming Expo. So,
we are, huh? Okay.
Good time.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk about last night. We went to Ground Control last night. It was a great time. I've been there a number of times. I know Jason's been there several times as well.
Right?
You've been there as well, Jason?
Yeah, last year it was awesome. Yeah.
Place is packed.
Yeah.
There was like a line of people trying to get in.
It's amazing because last year, I don't remember it being that busy.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. Actually, I last night standing in line, we had to wait in line because they were filled to capacity. And I was kind of surprised. Like, I'm thinking that our arcade's making a comeback. I mean, it was kind of incredible.
Well, I think when you mix alcohol, it definitely helps.
Yeah, and food, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, but I think at like 9 o'clock, it was pretty much at capacity. The people had to wait outside.
Yeah, we had to wait for 10, 15 minutes just to get in. It was cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I went out to, went to the car to make a quick run to the car to drop some stuff off, and I just left for about 5 minutes, and I come back, and they're like, well, we're at capacity, and you gotta wait, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the first ever that's happened, so
Yeah.
it was definitely a good time, very full, and
Actually, Portland is hopping. I mean, I don't know. This city is incredibly busy on a Friday night. I was impressed, so it's cool.
the nightlife's excellent here.
There are more pubs in the like per capita here in Portland than anywhere else in the world.
And they know their beer. They
Yeah.
know their beer here. It's tasty beer.
So how would you describe Ground Control for those who are listening who may not have been there before? How would you describe it? It's kind of a barcade essentially, right? They have the bar when you walk in and
Yeah.
everything retro. I don't think they have any games in the 90s. I think most of the games they have are probably in like the 1980s, wouldn't you say?
Right, and then they also
Killer
mix in
Instinct.
pinball
Yeah,
machines.
yeah.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's Killer Instinct upstairs, I'm just saying, you know.
I walk in, this guy's playing KI2, right? I'm like, okay, where's Jason? Oh, he's playing KI2.
In the corner way
Like, don't
up
mess
above,
with me,
yeah.
you know where I'm at. You know, I'm upstairs.
Right on.
Yeah, and then the food area is actually pretty cool. It's like a futuristic kind of vibe because all the tables are lit from below, you know, and then there's a full bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
microbrews
was,
is
it
awesome.
was a great time.
I'm gonna focus on the alcohol because that's what I liked.
The tables you walk in, the tables were cool. I don't know if you guys got a chance to go to the restroom there or not, but they had like, it looked like Tron.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Like the sinks were like Tron, they had the bright neon,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they had like the Pac-Man floor, tile floor. It was really cool.
That's right, yeah. It's kind of hard to see.
I want my
that.
bathroom in my house look like that.
Nah,
Like,
because
my
I
wife
couldn't
is-
see where I was peeing half the time. That was the problem.
Imagine hiring
It was dark.
Imagine hiring a guy, be like, yeah, I need some tile laid in my bathroom, and can you put Pac-Man here, and
Yeah.
you know, Galaga here? That'd be quite a job.
Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, fun times last night.
It was cool.
Yeah,
It was cool.
So what do you guys think of the expo so far?
It's awesome. Yeah, I think it's incredible. This is, well, personally, this is my first time here for the expo, and I just think it's amazing.
It's so much bigger than last year. Did anybody go to the expo last year? And do you remember how hot it was packed in that room? And this is amazing. Like there's all this space, but yet they filled it, right? There's like all these more. There's way more vendors now. Plus that's the huge arcade over there. It's pretty impressive that this expo has grown to be like a force where people fly from all around the country now to come to Portland for this expo. It's
Right.
pretty cool.
Right.
Are they free play, those games? The arcade games?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been over there yet.
Sorry, I haven't got over there yet, but yeah, I think so.
I was impressed on how many they actually had there. It's pretty incredible.
Well, there's a lot of collectors of arcade machines down here. I mean, Portland's just kind of known for that.
So they're known for beer. They're known for collecting arcades. What
Beer.
else?
It's good
Arcade.
taste. Yeah. Nightlife, I know.
It's a cool town. Definitely.
Yeah.
Voodoo Donuts.
Oh, man, I went to Voodoo Donuts. You guys know who Voodoo Donuts? You guys ever been
Show
there
of
before?
hands,
Show of hands.
Voodoo,
Who's been
baby,
to
come
Voodoo?
on. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, tell me about Voodoo
okay,
Donuts.
so they
I don't know what this
have
is.
they have this like maple and bacon bar. Like imagine a maple like donut, right?
Okay.
And then they have they put bacon slices of bacon on it.
Is that not breakfast all in one? It is. It is.
I don't know, that
It's
sounds
everything in one.
It's delicious. No, it sounds weird, and I was kind of hesitant about it at first, but I'll tell you, the salt and sweet like go really well together. But they also had like it was a Captain Crunchberry donut. They had like
Fruit Loop.
their Fruit Loops. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Huh, where is this at? Is it downtown?
They have several locations in Portland. There's one not too far, downtown. Actually, Jason's performing tonight, and I think there's one next door to your bar you're performing at.
Yep, you planned it, didn't you?
You know what I did? I said, put Voodoo Donuts right there.
Where are you performing tonight, Jason?
All right, so, okay. If you guys have any plans tonight, you guys want to come out and do something fun, we are playing my band, Rex Soul. We're going to be playing tonight at the Ash Street Saloon, 2nd and Ash. All right. Doors at 9, music starts at 9:30, and we're going to be on probably around 10:30-ish.
It's classical music too, guys, so just so you know.
Yeah, what I have is I have my jazz band that's going to be there.
A little bit slow.
So this is your high school band, right?
Yeah, well, from high school, yeah. It's a band I was in when I lived here for about 8 years, and it's really cool to come back, maybe once every couple of years or every year, fly in, we do a show, and that's what's happening tonight, so.
So you can get your Voodoo Donut and watch some live music.
It doesn't get any better than that. Retro games, Voodoo Donuts, live music, beer, hanging out with, everyone here. Let's do it. So, tonight, you guys.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Did you guys pick up anything today so far?
Yeah, but before we get into that, let's introduce who we are in case those people don't know. We haven't really done an introduction. Like, who are these guys up front?
I'm just thinking
and then we have
podcast, yeah.
we'll talk about Pete Dorr because he's not here with us today. I know a lot of you guys are fans of Pete. He's a great guy. Couldn't make it out this week, but I'm John Lester. I have a website, Gamester81.com. I also have a YouTube channel I started back in 2009. I focus on kind of rare and retro, but I like modern stuff too. And that's kind of who I am. So, Jason, why don't you?
Jason, also known as the Metal Jesus Rocks on YouTube. Started a channel a couple years ago, and I focus on like pretty much everything. I try to grab all my friends and make silly videos about arcade machines and old Sierra games, and we do a series called I Hate You. So basically the whole point of that is to kind of get friends back on the couch in the same room, battling out, playing really bad games. So just do a lot of random stuff like that.
Cool.
And I'm Jason Heine, and I have a show on YouTube called The Emulator Review. And I kind of focus on, it's kind of like a variety show in a way. I focus on console reviews, video game reviews, but also throw in a little bit of everything, like events like this, some music stuff here and there, some tech stuff, just whatever stands out. Anything retro is fun and good.
Now, contrary to your username, though, you're not much of an emulator guy, though. I mean, like.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Yeah.
I'm not really. The reason why I went that route is because I wanted to review also arcade games, and I figured, I don't know, I can't be tied down to just one thing, and we don't have hundreds of arcade games. Well, this guy does, but So I figured, we're gonna have to use some emulation for some of these games to get that. So that's why I went with that name. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. And then of course Pete.
Yeah, and then Johnny Millennium, Happy Console Gamer. He's also on the show as well. Do we have a video clip of I Hate You on the show there now?
Yeah. And we back it up there a little bit.
And it'll pop up on the screen here. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
That's Drunken Master Paul.
So we filmed this a couple weeks ago at PAX. These guys came in and hung out in my man cave, and we just made a silly little video. This is just the intro, so I'm just gonna kind of show you this.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a special celebrity version of I Hate You! Thank you. Thank you very much. I know you'll enjoy this. Let's meet our celebrities. We have the Metal Jesus. We have Pete Dorr. Next in we have Jason Heine. And next to him we have the towering Gamester81.
I'm really excited for this. I mean, this is a great series. Jason's such a great guy, and I'm just really looking forward to it, and I'm really humbled and honored to be part of the series.
It's an all Gen Gamers I Hate You episode. I can't wait for this. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm coming up to Seattle and Metal Jesus mentions he's gonna do an I Hate You video. And I trust the guy, I trust him with my life. I ride around with this guy last year around Seattle hunting for games. I'm coming up this year to hang out with him again. He didn't murder me, I'm still alive, so I trust him. He wouldn't make me play anything that, would make me.
So the All Gen Gamer podcast crew is coming up to Seattle for PAX, and I've got some hate planned for these guys. I've thought long and hard about bringing the hate. It's gonna be brutal.
So let's find out what the Metal Jesus has in mind for all of his podcast buddies. So, Metal Jesus, what kind of hate are you gonna spew upon your friends?
I hate them so much. I hate them so much that we are going to dance. Can you guys dance? You can't dance. You can't dance. Okay.
No.
Tell you what. I'm going to do you guys a favor. Can you play Frogger? Can you play Frogger with a dance pad?
Yeah! You didn't see that one coming, did you, boys? Let's play our game.
That was,
They had no idea what I was going to spring on them.
that was such a fun episode to film. It was just a blast, and I didn't realize how much work this guy puts into his editing and his time, and it's awesome. So, great time, and I think you end up being the big. Oh, I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Oh,
watch
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, God.
But if you guys want to watch the video, it's available on Mel Jesus. Just type in Mel Jesus Rocks on YouTube.
Yeah, it's also on allgengamers.com.
Yeah, yeah, and my website, gamester81.com as well, it's on there as well. And it's funny, you gotta wait till the very end, I'm not gonna spoil it, but wait till the very end, you're gonna see a nice surprise that Pete does. It's really hilarious. So
Yeah.
if you guys have seen the video, I think you guys know what I'm referring to, but you don't see him do this very often. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It was
wow.
cool to see him cut loose and be silly like that. Yeah.
So, cool. So I think the topic of conversation we're gonna talk about is, you asked what we kind of picked up at the show. Let's talk about that. So, what'd you get so far?
Well, I'm a huge Atari 2600 fan, and oh, you're pointing.
Oh, I'm pointing, never mind, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was really interested in what you're pointing at.
Trying to get my games here.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
go ahead.
I'm a huge Atari 2600 fan, but I don't own any homebrews. And I don't know if you guys know who John Hancock is, but he's a mega collector. He lives down here in the Portland area, and he's been riding my butt a little bit to start getting into homebrews. And so when you walk in the front door here, you see AtariAge.com, and they've got a ton of homebrews there. And so I picked up a couple. I basically asked the guys, I'm like, listen, I don't know anything about these. Recommend some titles. So they did. Ladybug on the Atari 2600. Again, these are all like professionally done.
It's a classic Pac-Man clone. I mean, it's like Pac-Man-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, where you control gates and stuff like that.
Maze, yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, so I picked that up.
Now, was that never released for the 2600 then? They just,
These are all brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah, I mean, and they're limited number runs and all that stuff. So it's actually pretty cool.
cool.
This is one of the funnest 2600 games I have ever played. And coming from somebody like me, that means a lot. It's a game called Fall Down, and essentially it's a two-player game. It's kind of hard to describe. If you are into playing with your friends on the couch, having fun, drinking beers, get Fall Down. And I see, Billy, you're thinking something dirty there.
No, is it, I'm
I know
assuming-
you.
You can see into my mind.
Yeah.
Thinking.
It's hilarious. Now, is it you fall down the game, or what's the gameplay like?
Yeah, basically, there are these randomly generated levels that have like a little hole, and they're slowly inching towards the top, and you have two characters on the screen, and you're trying to not be squished at the top. So it's constantly pushing you towards the ceiling, and you're battling each other to keep falling down the holes, but you can knock each other around. It's
Cool.
It's kind of like like a mix of Super Smash Brothers and Atari 2600 gameplay.
Wow.
It's awesome. So
Wow.
That sounds interesting.
It's
Get that.
amazing what they can do with that,
yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
Well, I think, 40 years on now, I mean, there's so much documentation to program for the 2600 now. I think back in the day, the 2600 was considered pretty difficult to get into, but nowadays, I think, it's fairly easy for people to kind of dip their toe into programming on it and do some really cool stuff. Plus, you have to focus on gameplay. You can't focus on flashy graphics or sound effects. It's all about pure gameplay on the 2600, which is kind of fun,
Yeah.
And then I picked up a game. I haven't played it yet. They recommended it. It's a beautiful box called Juno First.
Yeah, it's a great arcade.
This is an arcade converter, right?
Yeah, support.
Yeah. So I thought this is pretty
That's
cool.
for the 2600?
26. Yeah, these are all for the 2600.
It's a shooting game. It's a fun one.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Solaris, maybe.
Yeah, the lines kind of scroll down. It's like a 3D, at least the arcade. It's really cool. It's almost like a Galaga kind of style. It's cool though.
That's cool in box and everything, huh?
Yeah. Actually, almost all of these games have as an option. You can either
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
give that back.
Now, are you gonna open these games in box, or are you gonna keep them unopened? Because they make these like limited to like 50 runs, but they're pretty hard. They're
Yeah,
pretty
the
limited.
thing about me for collecting is that I collect to play games. And so you guys kind of ride my butt a little bit about getting cartridge-only games, but for me, I really want to play them. So that's
really
I will keep it in great condition, but I'm going to bust that out.
That looks like a great port. What did this cost?
I want to say 50.
50? Yeah.
So that's pretty reasonable for like a brand new. Yeah, thanks.
$40. You want to hear 40?
Yeah.
it drops off.
$39.99.
And then these were either 20 or 30 bucks a piece.
Nice.
So reasonable, for pretty rare stuff.
Cool.
So.
Awesome. Well, I was able to come last night a little early. I called Eric up, Eric Perez over there, 8-Bit Eric. And I'm like, what are you up to tonight? 'Cause I was going to invite him to dinner, we're going to hang out. And he's like, dude, I'm at the Expo already. I'm like, what? The Expo? This is last night. I'm like, you're at the Expo already. What's going on? So, so I was able to come by, check it out. And I picked up some games. I picked up, what did I pick up? I picked up a Pro Pad, like a box, Nintendo Pro Pad. Power Pro Pad, and I paid $10 for that. That wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's
But, and I also had some games I'll show you.
So we're doing a live pickup video, basically, is what this is here.
Yeah. I picked up this game right here. I don't know if you guys know about this. This is Road Warriors. Have you guys heard of this game?
Yeah.
This is limited to 40 copies. And I know you had a track on this. Why don't you explain kind of about this?
Yeah, so this is an original Atari 2600 game that John Hancock and I forget what the actual programmer is, but they got together to make this limited edition game.
It's
And
Chris.
and he came to me and he was like, we're going to include in there a soundtrack. So you know how the 2600 kind of has, sort of simplistic sound. So they wanted to create a CD that you would put on in your game room to listen to while you're playing a game. So they asked me to contribute a song, which I did. That's a really cool box because in there is also like a little Matchbox car. They're all individual. There's also an air freshener in there. There's all sorts of extra stuff. That's why the box is so big.
Yeah.
It's pretty
You
cool.
see on the side here, it's numbered, right? On the side.
It's number 4 out of 40. You know what? Let me just sneak this open a little bit. Should I-
Really?
It's barred.
I don't know. Should I open it? No. Okay, I'm not gonna open it. Okay. But it's autographed. It's autographed
Let's
by
play
the. It's autographed by the John Hancock and the creator, which is developer, which is cool. Yeah, it's cool. And it's cool that you're part of it too. So I picked that up.
It's cool you got a song on there. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I was really psyched.
I picked up Tempest for the Atari 5200.
No, that's a homebrew as
This
well.
is a homebrew. Yeah, this was never released for that console, but I think I paid $50 for this complete box, and that's pretty cool. Tempest is one of my favorite Atari games of all time,
Yeah.
actually, and it plays really well. It's a vector style graphic game. For
I
those
think
who
we were
don't know.
playing it last night, weren't we? Ground Control?
Yeah, it's awesome. Also picked up Halo 2600. You guys know about this?
I want that.
This is a little bit different than I picked up a copy of the cart back in CGE, the Classic Gaming Expo back in Vegas 2 years ago. And I think this is a different cart because the one I picked up has a black label. This is a silver label. But still the same game, and I didn't get the box before for it. So I got a couple of these. I'm going to actually give one of these away on my show, so stay tuned for that. And what else did I pick up? This is kind of, okay, Astro Grover. You guys know about this game right here? Astro Grover for the 5200. This is, I guess a guy found a copy of Astro Grover for the 5200 at a Goodwill. And he paid like a couple dollars for it. You never know what you're going to find at a Goodwill.
Now, it's a prototype, right?
This is well, initially it was a prototype, yeah.
Okay.
It was ported to the Commodore 64, I believe. And so he found this prototype as like a sticker with a handwritten label on it. And I guess Toby, who got it, ended up making 50 copies of it, so I was able to get it. It's a Sesame Street kids game, so as far as how much I'll be playing it, probably not very much.
Yeah.
But it's cool that it's
Sure.
never
Don't
released.
lie about that.
Yeah, you're going to learn something. Okay.
I put 5 hours into it already.
Yeah.
He's gonna be late for the show if he's playing that game.
And also another prototype, Pac-Man 4K. It's notorious. Pac-Man is like a really bad port for the Atari 2600. So this is finally done right. There's 4 ghosts that can be displayed on it. So if you're a big fan of Pac-Man, this is a great port. I love Mrs. Pac-Man for the 2600. And if you're a fan of that, this is a really good port, 4K. So came with box, manual, everything else. 2007 winner of mini game compo.
That's cool.
Yeah.
As opposed to the ghosts you can't see in the other.
Well, they
The ghosts are
blinked.
invisible
Remember
ghosts.
that?
Yeah, they
Bonk,
blink.
bonk, 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 bonk. Yeah.
Oh, this is like cool. This is kind of a homebrew. This is Earthbound for the NES.
You're the one that bought that.
I know.
$40
Here we
out.
go. Okay.
Cat's out of the bag,
So that's cool. I think we all know what Earthbound's about.
ladies and gentlemen.
And Chad gave me this right now. Chad's a big fan of the show, and he walked up to me and he gave me this Pro State, and he got this at Goodwill. And this is interesting. This is a 3DO Japanese import, and it looks like it's not open, never been opened because it's got the label there. But on the very front here, it says this is a property of 3DO studio testing.
Okay.
So I don't know what that's about. I don't know. I got to find more information. Do you guys know anything about like studio testing, 3DO Japanese
Well, they may have used a
imports?
third party to do testing, and so maybe they mailed that to somebody.
Why don't we just open up and find out? No, I'm sorry. Just joking.
Here's
guys are
rare and what's up, aren't you?
And that's pretty much it so far. But obviously, we got a day and a half left. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping to pick up some more games. I did pick up some other games that we're going to plan on giving away in the show later on this episode. So you guys can stay tuned for that. So cool.
Okay.
I only got a few things. I don't have much but
The day
what I
is
do-
young.
The day is young, yes. So big shout out to Chad, YouTube Chad. Thanks, buddy, for this. Also gave me another. This is a 3DO import, Overdriving. Okay, and this is Road and Track presents The Need for Speed, the first one.
Wow.
And again, sealed, and just like you have there, property of 3DO testing. So definitely not going to open that. That's pretty sweet to
Yeah,
have that.
it's cool.
So got that, Chad. Thanks again, buddy. Appreciate that. And then I got the oh so awesome Game Boy player. Now a few people know, so shut up. You over there. I picked this up for how much?
$1.
Oh, come on, Chris. Oh, no, I paid $5. Yeah, it was a dollar for this.
That's a good deal.
Pretty good deal, right? In a dollar bin. I saw in a dollar bin, I was like, everything in the bin's $1, right? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, sounds good.
There's a vendor, I think it's another arcade, that they're selling.
Another Castle.
Another Castle, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, Another Castle. They're selling a ton of stuff for $1.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you guys haven't checked them out yet, they've got some good games for $1, which is amazing. Yeah, check it out.
Now that's where you found that pretty rare Zelda game.
Yeah,
At
seal,
PAX.
yeah, I did. I found that. That was crazy.
So
Yeah.
tell people who about that don't know what that
Okay.
was. 'Cause that was kind of an unusual find, right?
Yeah, so we were at Another Castle. This is up in Seattle at PAX like a month ago. And we're just shopping. And Another Castle's cool because the way it's laid out, they have like arcade on one side and like the rest of the store is just retro games and stuff. But I walk in there and we're really about to leave, you know. I'm like, this is cool. I picked up a few games and I see this guy come in and he just walks in with like all these manuals and all these games, like sealed Nintendo games. And he's turned out he used to work for Nintendo. And he's like looking to sell all this stuff back. And just talked to him for a little while. And one of these games was a sealed Ocarina of Time, collector's edition, like pristine in box. So that was cool.
Yeah, our heart rate went up.
I was like,
quite a
whoa,
bit.
and the guy had no idea the value of this game at all. And part of me wanted to be like, hey, do I buy it right now from you? Rather than going up to, but I didn't want to like,
There's
block.
John swooping in.
Swooping out, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So I ended up talking to the manager, he was turned out being really cool. And like him and I talked and he held on to it and I ended up coming back and picking it up, but it was cool. I also picked up Panzer Dragoon Saga a little bit later that weekend at Another Castle too, which I've been looking for a while. So
The Zelda was like beyond like new. I don't know how it looks so good. I mean, like the plastic on the case. I mean, there wasn't even like scratches. You know, sometimes you grab games and your
Yeah.
fingernail, scratches it or something.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was just
you know,
perfect.
when I got home,
Absolutely
I ended up opening it up and playing it. It works great. So.
Yeah, that's good. I saw you streaming that.
I'm just joking. Freaking people out. I don't open games like that. Trust me. I won't open this one either.
That's good.
Just freaking you guys out. But no, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was awesome. So yeah, so that's a great vendor to check out here. Any other vendors you guys recommend here? That you guys, I mean, obviously Atari Age is great. There's just a lot. I'm really impressed.
I was happy to see Game Guru was there too. They just came down.
I think
Oh, really?
it seems
Yeah.
like almost every Seattle store comes down here
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
cool
such
to
a
see.
big venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the name of their store, but they're in the center and they have this big circular kind of like tables of stuff. But it's oh crap, I don't remember the name of it. I was going to tell you the name, but I don't remember it. But anyways, there's a lot of great vendors here that, plus all this, the Portland ones too that I don't get to visit. So
If you weren't broke before, we are now.
That's for sure.
A lot of good stuff out there.
That's for sure. Well, cool. So I think we're going to talk about some, like, a topic of conversation today was kind of maybe overlooked consoles and games for those consoles. So we're going to talk about some consoles that we like, maybe have been kind of overlooked and to collect for. So I know you, Jason, you want to start kind of with some?
Yeah, I'm going to start with one I think is kind of controversial, but a console that I like to collect for that I think is neglected big time is the original Xbox. I think that now is the time to buy original Xbox games because they're so cheap, and if you are into collecting games from the last generation, often the third-party games are the best versions on the original Xbox, and so I love picking those up. Often they're like $1, maybe $5 a piece, you know. Plus, it's also got some of the great role-playing games like Jade Empire. I think is kind of an underrated RPG. I like it a lot. The Knights of the Old Republic.
It's a great game.
The BioWare games on there.
Conquerors is good.
Yeah, the remake of that is awesome. So many great original Xbox games.
Guy game.
The Guy game, one of your favorites, you know. You now own that game, right?
I own that game now, yeah. I ended up picking it up for $6. But it's funny because the guy who sold it to me, the case was like crushed. but the paper outside it was perfect, and the game was perfect. So I actually have a whole bunch of loose green Xbox game cases, so I just swapped out the case, and no big deal. It's
And
perfect.
how far into the game are you?
I've beaten it 3 times already.
Ah, sweet.
Are you? Okay, yeah.
Don't spoil the ending.
For me, is there any other consoles that you recommend that might have been kind of overlooked that they're fun to collect for?
I also really like collecting for the TurboGrafx.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
You stole mine.
Did I?
No, that's all right. That's all right.
That for the opposite reason though, it's actually hard for me to find games for that in Seattle. If you see a loose hue card somewhere and I don't own it, I will buy it. And it's fun, you know. It seems like a lot of the games on the TurboGrafx did show up on other consoles at the time, or maybe that was the definitive version of those shooters.
Yeah.
So I like collecting for that.
Those are some great shooters for the
Yeah,
graphics.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Halo too. I mean, that's where it started. You know, I mean, we got to give respect to the for Xbox. That is.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
It's like,
Halo
what?
for the TurboGrafx.
I'm thinking about just the Xbox still.
He's back. He's thinking about Voodoo Donuts, I think, over here. Yeah, I think for me, probably like the Neo Geo. You know, I prefer the MVS version just because it's a lot less expensive to collect. And for those who don't know, like the background of the Neo Geo, it was ported originally for the MVS, the multi-video system for the arcade, and then it came out for the console later on, the AES. And I think in Japan it started like in hotels, and that's how they kind of. And people in hotels or staying overnight were like, "Hey, I want one of those for my home. How can I get there?" You know, SNK saw kind of need a market for it. And as we know, the Neo Geo AES, the home port, the Advanced Entertainment System, was very expensive when it came out in like the early 90s. I mean, games would cost you several $100s, right?
Yeah, expensive.
But they made the carts weren't compatible. You couldn't play AES carts on the MVS machine because they were worried that owners of the arcade, even though games were a lot more expensive for the MVS, that they would use the AES games. Have I confused you enough? That's kind of
Now,
confusing.
these are the ones that are about the size of like a VCR tape, right?
They're even bigger than that. They're huge.
Okay.
Yeah, they're huge. They're bigger, probably maybe the size of this, maybe even bigger
The
than
labels
this.
are
They're
at the
bigger
top,
than this.
right? Labels are.
Well, it depends. Yeah, the AES cards have a nice little label here, where the MVS cards, the arcade port, they just have a little small sticker here.
Oh, right.
And so if you're collecting today, a lot of people, a lot of collectors like to collect for the MVS because A, it's a lot less expensive. Like for example, like Metal Slug, which all of us hopefully know,
Yeah.
it's a great shooter and platformer. But that game for the AES will run around close to $200-300. But if you want to get the MVS, it's like $60, $80, same game, so it's a lot less expensive.
Oh,
So
okay.
it makes a lot more sense to collect for the MVS. So I love collecting for the MVS. Not only great shooters, platformers, but fighters. I mean, King of Fighting, you know.
Oh, like 2D fighters.
2D fighters,
okay.
yeah.
Huh.
I
Can't
mean,
beat them there.
they're awesome. I know Jason's a big fan of some of those,
Oh
I'm sure.
yeah, love them.
So I love the Neo Geo. It's one of my favorite consoles to collect for. I really like, actually, it's kind of the Virtual Boy, actually, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get some great games for the Virtual Boy. A lot of games like Waterworld are not very good, or Red Alert, or Red Alarm, whatever. But I do like tennis, like we mentioned before, is like one of the better
Probably
games.
one of the best games to display and show off the.
Mario Clash is great. I love Wario World, or is it Wario Land? Wario Land for it.
The thing is, you look like such a complete dork using that console. Like, I remember this. Pointing to my wife down there. Like when I first started playing that thing, I remember you come home. I'm sitting on the couch with this thing, and you were shocked. You're like, "What are you doing?"
I tend to
Yeah.
lay down, or like I'll hunch over and play. It has a stand, you know, but it's
Yeah.
kind of awkward. Because if even on a table, you kind of have to hunch over, and
The
it's,
best way is actually, honestly, in bed. Like you basically, I know.
All right.
Truth be told, folks.
Yeah.
Truth be
Here-
told.
now, what I'm saying is, picture me naked in bed.
Here we go.
When you got that in your mind, now think of the Virtual Boy. Okay.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Rebecca's selling pictures. No.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is that it completely covers like your face. It's,
Yeah.
You know, it's very. But it is surprisingly, it's a fun game. I actually, you miss it sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the controller, the dual directional pads. I'm not a big fan
Oh,
of that.
yeah.
You know. it's
Really?
just-
You don't like that?
Oh no, it's just not very.
Actually, the controller to me feels like the beginning of the GameCube
I
controller.
want to
with
say
those
it's so comfortable. I think the controller feels
Really?
awesome.
It needs an analog stick, though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But then again, the games that they had,
And it's
I
weird
mean,
that they put
you
the
know.
power on and off on the controller itself. It's kind of weird too.
Yeah.
it's amazing that they dubbed that as like a portable.
What the portable? What is it supposed to be? A console, handheld? It's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, it's right in the middle of the road. What are you gonna do? Oh, go on a road trip, folks. Let me just pull out my Virtual Boy.
Well, think of the
Where am I
time
gonna put
when the
it?
Virtual Boy came out. You know, you had the PlayStation 1 come hit the market. You had, this is mid '95, right? So you had like Saturn was there on the market, so you had a lot of things already on the market.
And 3D was really starting to take off.
Well, you had virtual reality. Whatever happened to virtual reality never hit. Remember the whole craze? People were all like, "Oh, virtual reality is gonna be the next big thing," and it never really came to be. But yeah.
Yeah, well, like the Master System goggles. That
Oh, yeah,
kind of
3D
flicker
goggles,
and
yeah.
give you a headache.
It actually works really well.
It does, actually. I was
And
really surprised.
They actually had it for the Famicom. Came out for the Famicom in Japan too.
Oh, that's right, because Rad Racer supports it, right?
Yeah,
It
they
does,
actually. There's.
yeah.
I think a vendor might be selling one. I saw one for sale.
Does it give you a headache like the?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Don't
yeah.
you still wear those for your sunglasses every day, usually?
Actually, I wear the shades. Yeah, they go
Yeah.
right over my glasses.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
great.
okay.
You
I
look so
figured.
cool, by the
I've
way.
seen them a
Yeah.
few times with those. Weird.
Yeah, that's hot.
No, it's interesting, but yeah, the 3D it actually works really well for the virtual boy. I'm impressed.
Okay, well, so
Depending on the game, yeah, like I have Bomberman for it doesn't work very well at all. But like tennis works really great. Mario Kart. I mean, there's a lot of good games for it.
well, I mean, but we're back to it now with the 3DS, right?
Right.
And so obviously, like, you don't need glasses for it, but it's still not perfect because you have to have it really straight on, right? I don't own one, but I know.
Yeah, even with
I've
the
played
3DS
around.
XL, even that you have to look at like even more so because it's a bigger screen.
So do you play that with the 3D on or off?
It depends. It depends. Yeah, sometimes it's just like you said, you have to kind of look at it at a weird angle. Otherwise, it gets kind of blurry or not. So it's fun. Some games are good and some games are not. So
If you have a Virtual Boy and you need to power it, you can use the 400 AA batteries it takes, or you can just
nice. Saw that.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
I don't know, man, it's falling down in here. So you can use I believe it's 4 or 6 AA batteries.
6, I think.
Or you can use a Super Nintendo AC adapter. It's the same thing. Some people will like, oh, this is the official Virtual Boy, power brick or whatever. You can use the Super Nintendo one, same thing. A little fun tip there if you need one.
Good to know.
Because everyone has those, right? You know those.
A lot more easy to find than I'm sure Virtual Boy.
Yeah,
official
absolutely.
Virtual Boy powder. How do you, Jason? What kind of game? What's this?
So I had to make a list because there's so much good stuff out there. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, going back to what you were saying about the Xbox, another console from around the same generation that I think is great to collect for, especially right now, is Game Boy Advance. And recently GameStop just stopped, selling them. Okay, so they're gone. You can't get them, which makes the market even better for us to get them other places out in the wild. But they have a great library of games, and the Game Boy Advance to me is like a portable Super Nintendo, but a little bit better. Okay, because the ports that they get. I mean, think about this. We have 2 F-Zero games, okay, that nobody even knows about. You got GP Legend and Velocity. That's a big racer fan, you guys know. I mean, the F-Zero, those games are incredible, incredible games. So, and you can get those pretty cheap. Most of these games are $5-10, if that. Even boxed. I mean, if you go out there, even in the wild out here, you're going to see tons of boxed GBA games. And so that's a great console. Now, the Game Boy Advance, of course, did go through its stages of life. You have the original Model 1, which is, it's like a sideways, it's kind of wide, and then you have the SP, and that has a few different versions too. And you got to be careful because we've talked about this before. And what you want is the SP that has the backlit LED screen, okay? And the box, they're all the same. You can't really tell except for a little marketing sticker on the top of it, and it says now with a brighter screen. All right, so right in the middle of the Game Boy Advance, you have a button that selects your brightness, okay? If you press it and the screen gets bright, and you press it again and it goes off, that's the first generation, okay? The second model, you press the button and it's on, and you press it again and it goes even brighter. So it has 2 stages of brightness, basically. So that's the one you really, really want.
But that's hard to find, though.
It is hard to find because Nintendo, they didn't even market it or say anything really about it. They released it right before they stopped selling it. They pulled the plug on it. So it was in stores for a short time. It is difficult to find, but if you're a Game Boy Advance fan, you want to get into that, definitely look for the one with the brighter screen. And I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that the model numbers on back are different. So you want to make sure to research that and find out which one that is and get that. Just a little thing. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well get the one that you really should get. A lot of people don't even know the difference.
How's the battery on that brighter screen?
I don't notice it being any different, really. Yeah,
Huh.
it lasts as long.
It's a good system. It is a good
It
system.
is. You know,
I have remember the Nintendo Anniversary one that they came out with? The
Yeah.
Nintendo
Oh, yeah.
Power?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
have that
Yeah.
model. That's cool.
You know, games like, and I had to make a list here, there's so many good ones. Games like Mario Kart, okay, where you can actually, this is kind of pre, you know, the online thing, but you can link up via the link cable, and you can play up to 4 people on that. That's pretty sweet. Of course, getting a nice port of Super Mario Brothers 3, got Yoshi's Island. I talked about the 2 different F-Zero games. Oh, my all-time favorite, Donkey Kong Country. Really cool ports there. You know, we didn't see that anywhere else. You know, it was Super NES, and they ported it to the Game Boy Advance, so available there. Of course, all the Pokemon games that everyone loves so much. You know, there's a whole bunch there, right? Really good games, and even those are going up in value. Wow, people, hello. You know, I mean, you see those, and I just see like this, you know, red Pokemon over there, and I'm like, wow, cool, 50, 60 bucks.
I think Game Boy Advance games are kind of expensive, personally. Just
Are
just
they?
loose.
Some of them are,
Some
yeah.
can be really expensive to
Yeah.
collect
Yeah.
for.
Well, especially those ones. And you can't go wrong with, you know, a great port of Link to the Past. And I even think there's some great racing games on there I put down here. You know, there's V-Rally. You guys ever played V-Rally? They were really ambitious game, being like inside of the vehicle. I mean, for a little handheld like that, it's pretty ambitious to do. It still worked out really well. We got a proper port of Doom 3D, Doom 1 and Doom 2. Just a really, really great console. So that would probably be, you know, one of my top picks for consoles to collect for right now. It's a really good time to get into it, I think.
Cool.
Should we do questions?
Yeah, so we got some, I guess we're giving away some games for those who ask questions. So if you guys have any questions when you come up, I don't know how we're going to work it. If you have a microphone, you can kind of step up. Okay. I think we saw the kid in the back of the hat. He was the first to. Okay. He heard games. He's like, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, stand up. Introduce yourself.
You guys have a Super Game Boy?
Super Game Boy, yeah,
Yeah.
for the
Video recording. 'Cause
Super Nintendo,
I
yeah.
have one and I like using it.
Cool.
It's like, you know,
It's kind of like that, yeah.
you know, similar.
He got it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so your question is what, do we have a Super Game Boy is our question? Yeah, it's a good game system. Plays Super Game Boy, color games, right?
Yeah, yeah, original
Color.
Game Boy, yeah.
So why don't you come on up here? What do we got? Where's the games?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
We're just going to pick them random.
randomly. Final Fantasy for the NES.
Now the hands go up.
Yeah, now look at Oh, I got a question. Yeah.
Who cut your hair?
All right, we got, when we go over here with the Zelda shirt on, yeah, go ahead. Got a microphone coming.
So, do you prefer the Super NES or the Nintendo 64?
Oh, man.
It's a tough
Super
question.
NES or N64?
That's a tough question because there's so many good games for both platforms. I'd probably have to go with Super Nintendo though. There's so many classics. I mean, the Donkey Kong Country series trilogy is great. You got the
Yeah.
Final Fantasies.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yoshi Islands is one of my favorite games for that. Super Mario Kart. I'd probably go with Super Nintendo.
I'm going N64 because I think the racing games on that are fantastic. Beetle Adventure Racing, I love that game. That's one of the best racing games ever made.
Cool.
Micro Machines, man. On the 64. That's all I gotta say. No, that's a really hard question to answer, but yeah, I would probably have to say Super Nintendo. Absolutely, yeah. So many great classic games, John. You mentioned them all,
Yeah.
but there are just so many standout games on that console.
A lot of great shooters on that too, though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thanks
Good
for the
one.
question. Yeah.
Nice.
Game
Oh yeah.
games here.
That games.
In the black bag.
Star Wars Racer.
Yeah.
Perfect. A great racer on the N64.
Go with
That
Nintendo
was fate
controller
right
shirt
there.
right there. It kind of depends on what I'm in the mood
Man,
for.
that's tough.
Yeah,
You know.
that's a mood thing.
Like to me, like retro games have like the nostalgic value to me too, because I remember playing them back when I was growing up, right? So I always have a part of me wanting to play those. But modern games are fun too. I don't know.
There's definitely a sweet spot for both. You know what I mean? It really depends on how you feel and what you want to do. Because sometimes, like for me, for modern games, I really just want to get online and play with my friends. You know, that's really exciting to do. But then sometimes, like when we're hanging out at your place, just sitting down, playing, like, it doesn't get any better than just local multiplayer with your buddies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because that's where it began. That's what we do, you know? So, I don't know, man. That's really tough. I'd say it depends on the mood.
Remember gaming before online?
Yeah, absolutely.
Playing
yeah.
GoldenEye and stuff. So
Yeah,
you know, 4-player GoldenEye on
I
site.
couldn't wait to get home from school, man. You know? Couldn't wait.
I think for me, it depends on the time of year. Right now, I'm playing a lot of retro games because I seem to have gotten a lot of them recently, and so I'm playing a lot of games for the first time. But, you know, on October 6th, there's a new game coming out for the Xbox 360 that I'm really looking forward to. So I know that's going to be, you know, a couple months probably I'll be playing that game. So it really depends. Typically, you know, in the spring, I play a lot of old games for that reason.
Cool. All right.
Thanks for your question.
Gran Turismo. This is fun. All right, let's go with epic fail, Pac-Man.
Okay, so what would you suggest to a beginner RPG what he should start with?
So good. I wish Pete was here for this.
Beginning RPG, I mean,
Are you more like modern or retro gamer? What do you like?
Retro.
Retro?
I got top loader, so.
Yeah, the man's holding the top loader, absolutely.
Dragon Warrior series is good. I'll start there. Or you know, Final Fantasy is a good one.
the only thing I would say though that's really tough to go back and play those old games is the grinding, is the random battles. Because I recently started playing Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation 1, which is kind of a classic RPG, right? I've had it in my collection for a while. I wanted to play it, but you get so burnt out after 40 hours of just random battles all the time. So you have to kind of prepare for that, you know, a little bit. And so that would be the only sort of caveat where I think newer games manage that a little bit better. They don't try to squeeze out 80 hours that way, you know.
Right.
But there's a lot of great ones though.
Cool. Ice hockey.
There you go.
Kill your thumbs.
Yeah.
Watch your thumbs on that one.
Gamer thumb on that one, yeah.
Okay, Sonic shirt.
So, what is your most nostalgic game?
Wow.
You know the first game that came to mind for me is Excite Bike on the N64. I mean on the NES.
NES.
Yeah. Something about, because I used to have a motorcycle. I used to actually live in Roseburg, Oregon, and behind my house we had all these trails, and I had this motorcycle when I was really young. And when Excite Bike came out, I was like, oh, this is the game for me. So I love that game.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'd probably say like just original Super Mario Brothers for the NES, just because I remember playing that a lot. Or even if I want to go way back, like I mentioned before, like for the ColecoVision, like Smurfs for the ColecoVision.
I hate that game.
I know, it's a absolutely terrible game. It's
Now
like
we know what happened.
four screens, and it's like absolutely terrible, but I just have a lot of nostalgia of just playing it, because that's all you play. So, how do you, Jason?
Gosh, so many games come to mind, but most nostalgic, I would probably have to go back to say River Raid on 2600. Played that a ton with my dad, who's here. And then from there, I'd probably just say Killer Instinct. You know, I love it. Can't go wrong with that, so yeah.
Why don't you pick a game, Jason? We'll get someone in the back.
Revolt.
Oh, is that, what is it?
Classic. That's from me. It's from PC.
I love that game.
So we got PC there.
We'll get someone in the back. The black shirt, glasses.
Okay, so I know this is the retro gaming expo and all, but what are your stances on the Wii U, and what are you awaiting most for it?
Oh boy, how much time do we have left?
Well, we got to play it at
PAX. Yeah, we played at PAX. You know, I think it's cool. You know, Nintendo never fails as far as bringing out great first-party content. You know, but from what I saw at PAX, I was very unimpressed with their presentation, because a lot of the games were not really polished very well. I think that I played.
Or there are ports of games you've already played on
Yeah.
other systems. Not all of them, but there is a lot. You know.
They did have Nintendo Land there.
Yeah,
They
and
did
the
have that.
Zombie Wii U.
Which, you know, I think was really the standout definitive game at the show, personally. But I mean, I'm excited for it. For me personally, I don't really see any launch titles yet that really get me excited. And I love Nintendo. You know, I'll be there day one buying it, but
If you can get one.
yeah, if you get one, right?
Did you guys pre-order it?
No.
No.
Screwed.
No.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's over. Not yet. No, it's, yeah, because that's the thing. They sold, and I wonder if like Nintendo's actually holding out a little bit on as far as their production of it, you know? Like, is it going to be like the Wii where
I don't
it's
think
impossible?
Yeah, people claimed that they did that for the Wii. Do you think
Yeah.
they did?
I don't know. I do know that it was really difficult to get a hold of the Wii when that first came out.
Yeah.
You know, for
So-
months and months and months.
Why is it so easy to find a 3DS when it came out? And then when it comes to like the Wii, why is this going to be so hard? You know, I don't understand why.
I don't know.
I don't know.
These are the tough questions, folks.
To me, the Wii U, I'll pick one up when I can get one. You know, there's some games that look really cool. Like Pac-Man looked really cool for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I don't know. To me, it would just seem like a high-def Wii with a cool tablet. Honestly, like I wasn't kind of.
Well, it's going to be all about the games, and
Yeah.
it's probably going to be next spring where we'll sort of see where that ends up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope the online is solid and it's seamless and it works good. That's going to be really the kicker for me.
And it has Excitebots. for
And it
you.
has Excitebots too.
Yeah, for you.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, Jason, why don't you pick a game out?
Okay. TNC Surf Design.
Oh, that's a good game. Good game. Hey, quick question.
Why don't you pick a person?
All right, let's go. Let's go all the way in the back. You, yeah, right there. Yep, yep. Yeah, you, yeah. Me, him. You, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what do you guys think is the best entry in the Zelda series so far?
It's tough, man.
All right, next question is going to be.
I think, yeah, the CDI one for sure. You know, I love
Everyone needs to pick that one up.
The voice on that is awesome. The voice acting is awesome in that game for sure. Link to the Past to me
Yeah,
is like
absolutely.
just iconic, like Zelda. You know, you got to obviously Ocarina of Time up there too, but yeah, Link to the Past is probably my pick, just because again it goes back to nostalgia and when it first came out, just playing it and beating it, and
Yeah.
it's just a great Zelda game.
Yeah, great story, great. I mean, everything about it. The game is timeless. It's just perfect, in my opinion. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
It's funny, I remember going over to my mom's house, and she was obsessed with Ocarina of Time for months and months and months. She loved that game. So there's definitely some power in that game. So I have to go with that.
You guys like
Just
Link
'cause
Awakening?
it's mom approved.
Link Awakening.
Mom approved.
Link's Awakening, you like that game too for the Game Boy? It's a good one.
Link's Awakening. Minish Cap?
I never finished that one though.
All right, come on up. Pick it up.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Have fun landing the
Do
plane.
I pick one?
Huh?
I pick,
Yeah, pick one.
the Cubs? What's that hat there? Yes, sir. Do you have a question?
Mine's Jake. I got a movie question for you guys. If you're flipping through the channels and the movie, you see a movie on like cable or TV or something, what movie like just makes you stop and just watch it?
I'm not proud of this.
This is a family show. This is a family show.
I'm not proud of this. No. It's. I think the movie's PG, but I'm obsessed with it, and it's The Cannonball Run, 1981. Burt Reynolds, Farrah Fawcett. It's got everybody. Dom DeLuise. I love that movie, and frankly, because it's got really sexy, exotic sports cars, I watch it every time. Too, and my wife hates it. She usually, you leave the room, don't you? Just not the acting or the plot. That would be my answer.
Nice. I love Goonies. When I watch that, man. That's a classic one. You know, of course, Spike does the Star Wars marathon every once in a while, so I'll tune into that. You know, they have all 3 or all 6 movies playing. So I love Star Wars, but
When I'm flipping through the channels, you know, the more fuzz and static, the better.
What channel are you watching there, Jason? Yeah.
No, actually, I am proud of this, and I like chick flicks.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
like
gonna- you're gonna
When
cry.
Harry Met Sally. I love You've Got Mail. Some of my favorite
Steel
movies.
Magnolia.
Oh, Sleepless in Seattle.
Steel Magnolia.
It's Tom Hanks, man. You can't go wrong with Tom Hanks. The guy's great, you know.
You're tearing up right now, aren't you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, good movies there. Good movies.
All right. Who asked that question? Why don't you come on up? In the back? Right?
Jay.
What's it, Jay?
Yeah, I don't really
Do you want?
Oh, really?
Perfect. Fair enough. All right, cool.
He just takes alcohol, that's it.
All right, we don't have shots of voice anything.
Later on.
How about right here? Right there. Yeah. The black shirt. There you go.
Virtual Boy shirt.
Nice, love the shirt, man.
There you go. Nice.
Super Nintendo or Genesis?
Oh, come on, man. This is easy for me.
Oh, it's easy for me too.
This is easy for me too. I gotta go Genesis. And here's the thing. Yeah, bring it. You know, for me, I didn't own either of them back in the day. So basically, I went from the Atari, and then I skipped it. I went to the Commodore 64, played that through pretty much high school, and then I got into PC gaming. So I skipped that. So I don't really have a sense of nostalgia for either of them. But I love collecting for the Genesis. I think some of the games on there are just awesome. Lots of great shooters for it. I love that. I love the controller. I love everything about that thing. You know, even though there's awesome games on Nintendo.
I agree. Genesis is a good system, but it's all about the Super Nintendo to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no applause for that. I mean, just like I said before, there's so many classics. I mean, the Genesis is great, but Super Nintendo had better color, better sound. It wasn't as fast processor as like the Genesis could do, but to me, it was just better. Yeah.
Genesis does. When Nintendo don't. You gotta love the wars, the advertisement wars, you know, yeah, marketing. I want to say, like, growing up during that era, I think you had a Super Nintendo, you were always a little envious and jealous of the people that had the Genesis. And if you had a Genesis, you were always a little envious and jealous of the kids who had the Super Nintendo. And I think it went both ways, because that's exactly how I am. I was a Nintendo guy. Always had, and I love Nintendo. But my friends had the Genesis, and I was always a little bit jealous. I was like, man, that's a really good console. And I'm like, but I like my Nintendo, so that's cool. But I was always like, one eye over there, like, man, that's cool. It wasn't until later on in life I started to get into that. And they're both just fantastic consoles, but I'm going to go with Super Nintendo.
The thing about the console wars back then that were a lot different than like now. Like a lot of people have a PS3 and an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Back then, you either have a Genesis or you had a Super Nintendo. It was like very few people I knew had both.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have both. Exactly. Yeah.
So it was just I had a Super Nintendo, but I always go over to my friend's place to play the Genesis.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was. And it wasn't like it is today where people have multiple systems and games. And just the exclusives for both were like, it's not like it is today where the game comes out and it's ported to all three platforms.
It's true. It's true.
So.
How many people in here own both a PS3 and a 360?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, quite a few. Yeah.
Right on.
Just curious.
All right, so who asked that question?
Yeah, come on up here, buddy.
All right. Zelda. All right. Jason's dad?
Oh,
No?
all right,
The person
all right.
behind Jason's dad, okay.
Oh.
His questions, yeah, go ahead.
Just tell us something embarrassing about this guy.
Please.
That's all we really.
Here we go.
I caught everything you know. Jason, I was cleaning out the garage the other day. I can't find my Atari Pong. Have you seen it?
I have it. I have it. And it works great.
Awkward.
Still working great.
Awkward.
Don't sell it.
I took the D batteries into that have exploded, but it works great. Yeah.
All right. What's that? Let's go to, is that Luigi cosplay or? Nice.
Nice, there we go.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
What's your opinion about Wreck-It Ralph coming out this year?
Wow, man, that's actually, it's pretty cool. I was able to play the arcade back at Classic Gaming Expo this year, which is cool because it's like the only two actually working arcades, which is cool. I'm excited, man. I saw the trailer. Are you guys familiar with Wreck-It Ralph? You guys, show of hands, who's heard of Wreck-It Ralph?
It's a Disney film.
Yeah, it's a Disney film, and it's not Pixar, but it looks like it could be done by Pixar. And it features a whole bunch of, it kind of looks like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit of like video games, right? Because they bring a whole bunch of characters in, like Sonic and Mario and all that. But I'm excited, man.
It's basically like a classic 8-bit bad guy wants to stop being a bad guy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he goes into like more modern games, I think, and tries to search for something or other. And I think it looks good, man.
Yeah, it looks good.
It does.
When does it come out?
I believe November, like around the same time as the Wii U.
Okay.
It looks like, for people like us who enjoy gaming, it's like basically a fan movie. It's got a bunch of really cool references, and it's pretty much made for people like us.
And I don't know if you guys knew this, but Sonic All-Star Racing Unleashed, the new one coming out, Wreck-It Ralph is going to be actually a playable character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So 'cause
That's
Sonic
cool.
Sonic is in the movie, and then it's like a crossover thing. So that's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, that is
So, all right, why don't you pick it up?
All right. Oh, funny, I would pick Lord of the Rings.
There you are. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, Jason. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, when are we going to watch Two Towers together, bud? If you guys don't know, this guy, we've been trying to get him to watch Lord of the Rings. I shouldn't say force, because you shouldn't force someone to watch Lord of the Rings.
I did it on my own goodwill.
The only movies you like are like the Fast Five ones, right? The Fast and the Furious
Well,
ones?
those are good, but I like chick flicks.
There's a love story. There's a love story.
Yeah.
I didn't see that version. Yeah, I'll watch it someday.
Why don't you pick someone else, Jason?
All right, you right there in the gray shirt. Yep. What does it say, Mario? Yeah, all right, Mario.
Awesome.
Is there a console you don't have yet and you would like to get so far?
Yeah, for me. 3DO is one I'm seriously considering. I think that'd be pretty cool. Seems like a lot of the games on there are kind of unique and sort of PC-like. And the other thing, too, is I have a soft spot for really bad full-motion video games.
Oh, you'll love that console.
Yeah, I know, so...
There's a lot on there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I think it'd be fun.
I'd love to get like just a PC, a gaming PC, but also like maybe like a Windows 95 PC that runs all those classic games like X-Wing again and TIE Fighter and there's so many great like classic PC games for back in the day. I'd love to get one of those.
Can you see how many are for sale out
Oh,
there,
there's a
too?
ton of PCs. You
Oh,
guys notice
I
all
know.
the PC games for sale? It's amazing, yeah.
I was out there standing next to a guy, and we were looking at the PC games together, the big boxes.
Yeah.
And he comes over, and he was just like, "Wow, who's got a floppy disk drive anymore?" And I'm standing there, and I'm like looking at him, like, do I tell him, or do I just move on?
You have quite a few PCs. What PCs do you have?
I do. I have. I'm an old school PC guy. A lot of you know. So I have a PC from most of the generations of the gaming. I have an old Packard Bell, 166 megahertz Pentium Intel. It could use that.
Yeah.
And that runs Windows 95, and I also have a Windows 98 box, and then I have my XP and Windows 7 box. But you got to have. Sometimes you got to plug in a controller through the serial port. It just feels good. I'm just saying. Sometimes. None of this USB stuff. For me, I really want to get into the Neo Geo console. I never got into. Never even had friends around me that had it. So, but that's a console or consoles. There's kind of a whole gap there of games and consoles I want to get into.
You can even get like the Neo Geo CD too. There's a bunch of games for that.
Yeah, I mean, all things I don't know, and I would love to get into that eventually. Are you ready for the black bag? Ooh, Star Fox 64. Yeah, look at it.
Okay, let's see how many we have left. 2.
All right, 2 left.
But we'll take more questions
Yeah.
though. It's not necessarily okay. Let's go with the bunny right there. Yeah.
What's your favorite PC game that you're playing?
Ooh, boy.
Like modern or retro or what?
Any.
Anything? Wow.
Oh, boy.
These guys I know have a ton of PC experience. I do to a point. I love like the classic like Sierra point and click adventures. Like King's
Good
Quest. This guy used to work at Sierra. You have my money yet for to say that? No.
Yeah, that's good.
Money's on the table.
No, I also like I mentioned before, but like all the Star Wars like X-wings and those flight simulator games like that. X-wing versus TIE Fighter. Those are fun. I like Dark Forces is a great one.
You mentioned Wing Commander.
Wing Commander is fantastic. I like Wolfenstein 3D, Doom. Those are awesome.
The old school RPGs on the PC are awesome, like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Planescape Torment, Icewind Dale. So many great games like that. Oh, Fallout, thank you. 1 and 2.
Gosh. Duke 3D, fantastic. One of the games that really got me into the genre, really seriously. But one really stands out. You guys, you three, D, Steph, Daryl, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, all three of you stand up, all three of you, and you're gonna say it with me. No, you know what I'm saying, right? Okay. So the game is Battlefield Bad Company 2.
How much time do you spend playing that?
Thank you, EA. The bill's in the mail.
How many hours, Jason?
We're clocking about 850.
Really?
Dang.
That's money well spent.
Very.
What is it like?
That's a good value right there.
How many days is that?
The second I get home, the server's going back live for everyone that just wants it. It is. It's gonna
So
happen.
what is it about that game that really like sets it apart from other, games of the genre? Why do you like it compared to like?
Well, I love even more in Battlefield 3, sure. I mean, I love the series. I love the teamwork that goes into a game like that. But something with Bad Company 2, it's just the way that it plays. Something about it. It's just, I don't know, it's magical. The controls are really tight. The gameplay is really good. The environments are well thought out. The maps are amazing. They're robust. A lot of great places to explore and play. And I just think that the combat is really refined there. Over most any shooter that I've played. It's something about it. It's very addictive, and the multiplayer is great. But I really like the teamwork and how every person has a job, and if you work well and do your job, you can take your team to victory, and it's really satisfying.
Can it get frustrating if someone's on a team who's like a noob, doesn't know what they're doing?
Ammo, over here.
I need a medic. It can be, but you know what I like to do? I like to play. I like to play with people, and if you want to get in on it, what I do is I would like to train you. It's a class that starts Monday every night. But no, if you want to get into it and you really want to learn, it's an exciting thing to be a part of the team. And if you play your role, and I mean you guys would agree, and a lot of people who play Battlefield would agree that it's really nice to be a part of that when you really feel like you also make your team do well. It's really satisfying. So that's what it's
Cool.
about. Good question. Good question.
Who asked that question? Oh yeah, come on up. Game Genie for the NES.
Yeah.
All right, who hasn't asked a question yet? Back there in the yellow, there you go. Stand up with it. There you go. Perfect.
Well, you say you like a modern multiplayer. Have you ever tried Minecraft?
Okay.
I'm afraid of it.
Me too. I completely agree. Everyone is like, you gotta play Minecraft. You gotta play Minecraft. And if it's anything like World of Warcraft or something, like of how you get, I know, but what I mean is like how you get addicted to it.
Well.
Are you addicted to it? You're addicted, aren't you?
He's a user.
Yeah, he is.
You're a user.
That's my problem. Here's the thing. 800 hours of Battlefield, I'm in. But I don't know, man. I don't want to get addicted to another.
It looks awesome though.
It does.
It does.
And I heard they ported it to the consoles, right?
Yeah, it's on the Xbox 360, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the iPad, it's on it. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I have, however, played a game called Guncraft. Have you played that?
No.
It's basically Minecraft, but a shooter.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
And so what, do you craft in it, like guns
You
and
can,
weapons
yeah.
and stuff?
It works exactly the same, except you run around
Do you
and
build
shoot.
stages and stuff? or-
Yeah, you can build stuff and knock stuff down. And
But kind of like a first-person shooter.
he's back there like, I gotta go. Good show, guys.
I think it's
Later.
only fitting that Jason gives this last game away. Let's see why.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is from me.
Come on up.
Oh, Jesus. It's the original Motor Storm. Hey!
Now we have this console. I got this Atari 400 computer the other day, and I want to give this away, but I'm trying to figure out how. So, what's that? How should we do this?
Everyone can put, $5 in a hat.
Beer money.
Trivia.
Trivia.
Okay.
Some about maybe they listen from the beginning or something. I don't know.
We didn't really think about this through.
We're gonna swing it like we do every show, right?
Do a Gamester pun.
Okay, can someone say a Gamester?
Don't encourage him.
Can someone name a Gamester, like quote me on a Gamester pun from a previous episode? Go ahead, man.
You actually did it twice. You made the same burnout joke 2 episodes in a row. You said, I'm a little burnt out on this burnout time.
Oh,
That
nice.
sounds like him.
That sounds like me. I repeat myself. Nice. Come on up.
You're a proud owner of an Atari 400.
Now, it doesn't have a controller, but the Atari 2600 controller will work, and so will a Genesis controller, I believe, too.
Genesis.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Sweet.
Cool.
Awesome. We don't have any more giveaways, but we can still answer questions if you want.
When does the next one start?
How much time do we have? How much time do we have left on this panel? Just curious. 15 minutes. Okay. We still ask for questions. Yeah. What we get someone who hasn't asked a question before.
Purple shirt.
Yeah.
Dig Dug.
What inspired or made you guys want to start channels in the first place?
It's a good question.
Boy, I will say, not to kiss your butt or anything, but I mean, you inspired me a little bit, but watching your pickups videos, watching your collection videos, and sort of seeing how cool it was to do that and be like a serious collector and really focused on that sort of stuff was definitely inspiration. Johnny Millennium, Happy Console Gamer, for me. His production values and the passion that he puts into his videos really inspired me. The Game Chasers is another one. The way that they edit, the way that they interact, and the way the videos flow for me was really inspirational.
I think for me, I'd have to give credit to obviously Angry Video Game Nerd, James. Watching his videos. I got started making videos on YouTube back in early '09, so kind of early, but obviously he's been around a lot longer than that. And honestly, guys, it's like you guys really inspire me to do videos, and just reading the positive comments and the feedback I get, not only from my show, my website, and the podcast. It's great, and it's definitely motivation to want to improve. And I initially got my camera to film my show was like a wedding gift when I got married, and I wanted to do a show of consoles that a lot of people hadn't heard of, because even I had very little knowledge of a lot of consoles out there, and I tried doing Google search and YouTube search, and people just weren't doing reviews over them. So if you watch some of my very, very early episodes, no editing, the camera is very low quality, but I think as long as you have a heart for it and you have a passion to do it, I think people will see that. And I got a lot of great positive comments on that, and it just made me want to kind of put more time into it and want to grow it from there organically, and it's been great, And then as far as the podcast goes, it was just, Pete and Johnny and I were kind of talking back in 2010, I think, when we started, like 2 years ago. So, and then, we brought Jason on quickly after, and then Mel Jesus came on, and it's been great. I mean, it's just like talking to friends, and the feedback has been awesome. So it's been you guys really helping motivate.
The reason why we're here right now is because this is fun. This is a great thing to do, and what inspired me was a lot of Angry Video Game Nerd, of course, kind of getting interest back into the retro thing. But then again, we've all been collecting since we were young. We have all this stuff, and doing searches online and finding that there's a community of people that talk about this stuff and do this stuff. And I thought, well, let's try to put my own twist. I think that's why any one of us will start a show, is we think we're gonna put our own little twist, and that is the beauty of it. We put our own salt and pepper in the soup and make it great. But yeah, I mean, just being here with these guys and you guys in the community, it's fantastic, and it is very inspiring. And so
I've been really surprised about the worldwide, retro gaming scene. Like I was amazed. Half of my views come from not in North America.
Oh yeah.
Passionate people in the UK and Australia.
A lot of Australia.
Yeah, it's really awesome to get emails from people like that who have their own stories about collecting, and I don't know, cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Another question, guys? In the back there, first in the brown shirt. Yeah.
Okay, this isn't a question, but it's a suggestion.
Sure.
So after seeing the last I Hate You, where you played Frogger on the dance mat pad, I would suggest doing more alternative controllers, maybe Power Glove, U-Force.
Stay tuned. I'll give you a little preview of the next one.
He's saying the Dreamcast fishing controller.
You emailed me.
Sega bass fishing.
You emailed me about that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that is. Dreamcast had tons of
Stay tuned.
I think maybe we have time for a couple more, and that's, I think, what. Yeah, okay, and the yellow shirt in the way back?
Which do you think is better, Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis?
Oh, we just answered that one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry.
But we can answer it again.
Genesis, Super Nintendo, Super Nintendo. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. Yeah, why don't we go that? Well, either one. Why don't you go? Yeah, Zelda. There you go.
Have any of you ever played an Ace Attorney game?
What is it?
Objection.
I couldn't quite hear the name. I'm sorry. What was that?
Ace Attorney.
Oh, Ace, the Phoenix Wright games.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't played them. No.
Yeah, I played a little bit of those. Actually, they're really fun. Yeah.
Do you like them?
Mm-hmm. I do. And they're very silly.
Cool.
Why have you not played them?
That's a great
Good
question.
question.
Yeah, that is.
I actually own a couple of them, so answer the.
Too many games, not enough time.
Do you guys play a lot of DS games?
More on the Game Boy Advance for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I do play some DS games, but
Yeah, when it first came out, I played a ton of DS games.
there's a lot of
Sure.
good games for that. For sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, a couple more questions.
More to the back.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do.
He hates it.
You know what it is? I thoroughly enjoy the franchise. I like that model of game. I like that type of gameplay.
Awesome. Gentleman in the white shirt there.
First off, Middle Jesus Rocks, if you would like, I would like to donate 3DO to you.
Wow.
An FC1 that's boxed that, if you would like, you're welcome to have. I can get you
Well, thank you.
contact information later.
All right, well, that's cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And then second off, picture yourself as a kid walking into a rental store. What was your biggest disappointment that you walked out with and played that weekend?
Oh my goodness.
And I remember doing that too. It's, yeah.
It happened a lot, actually.
Yeah, because you'd save up your money, you know, to rent one game.
Yeah, you would.
And you'd base it on the cover or something like that.
That's all you'd go off of.
Yeah.
We didn't look it up on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
You better not say Mad Max.
I never rented it. I saw it and I said, that game's garbage.
I don't know. There's, all the LJN games are really bad.
I never really liked Kid Nicky.
I remember renting
NES.
I remember renting Superman for the N64. That was Superman.
Oh, I say Sewerman. That sounds even worse.
We're off to a real bad start anyway.
It is Superman.
Actually, I might rent that one.
They might as well call it Sewerman because it's bad. It's bad. So I remember playing that, and I think I put like 10 minutes into it. I couldn't get through the rings.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is garbage.
I think I blocked that out of my memory.
You're so upset, because like for me, I'd get home from school and that was what you'd do. We'd go down and we rent a game for the weekend. We had one game, maybe two if I was a good boy. Right, Mom? Maybe two. But yeah, man, if it was bad, I was back on my bike and I was outside and I forgot about it. I was just pissed.
Well, I think it's all the time we have, guys, but
yeah.
We appreciate you guys joining us.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
you guys.
thanks for coming.
And where can people find us, I guess, Jason, real quick?
Well, people can find us at www.allgengamers.com, and we have links to everything All Gen Gamers there, our forums, our YouTube, our Facebook, and Twitter. And also, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, and make sure to, of course, keep those ratings and stars coming in. We really appreciate that. We see every one of them, and it really helps us out. It keeps us. We're on the featured page on there quite often. It's really cool, and that's because of the ratings and the likes that we get there. So that's really cool, you guys. So thank you guys for all your support of the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.